What's up, everybody? JH Prison Stories puts the good out in the world. But another thing I want to talk about in Kentucky prisons and jails. I've seen it happen in jails and prisons. Prisons more frequently than jails. Actually, jails more frequently than prisons, because prisons usually kind of get their facts right before they jump to conclusions. But in county jails, and yes, I did get a haircut. Thank you very much. But in county jails, people tend to flock to something that is not true. They don't get their facts before they jump on it. So, I want to tell you a story about somebody that was judged wrongfully by the whole cell. And I sat back and watched. So, a guy come in, looked like he was a cho. Now, looks can be deceiving, and everybody knows that. Okay? But every prisoner, every convict, every inmate, whatever, most of the time, you can tell these people because of the way they act or carry themselves. Okay? And most of the time, you're right. But there is a 50-50 chance that you're not right. And there's a 50-50 chance you're right. In jail, not in prison. Because in prison, they phone home to make sure. Jail's not so much. Don't know why, because it works the same way. You can do the same thing. Have no idea why they don't do that. But anyway, and then they got TV. You can watch the news still in jail and all that shit. You know, it just made no sense to me. But anyway, I would proceed to see this guy, Johnson County Jail. And Johnson County, Kentucky is where they housed Morgan County inmates at that time in 2014. A guy would come in, and he would look, like I said, he would look the part, but he wasn't the part. So, there's a few lines of questions that you're asked when you come in. You know, are you carrying anything? Do you have anything in your prison pocket? You know, for any of us to get zooted on, you know, and that's what they ask them when they first come in. Or if you got any cigarettes up your butt, or any tobacco products, or anything that's you're not allowed to have, do you have? That's the first questions you're asked when you go to jail. And everybody knows this. It's probably in every jail in every state, actually. Because guys in there are just looking to have fun, and most of them are just still addicts and haven't recovered yet. No matter, you know, they haven't changed their mindset at that point. Me being one of them, when I first got locked up, I hadn't changed my mindset. It took many years to change my mindset into the way it is now. Okay, many years. And I'm talking, you know, at least 8 years. But probably longer, probably 10, I don't know. But anyway, to get the mindset where I'm at now, you know, it takes a long time. It takes years. It don't take weeks or months or days. It takes years to get your mindset to where mine is now. So, but anyway, they would go back to the point at hand. They would go and they would judge this person. They would be prosecutor, judge, and executor at the same time. And once you went to something called kangaroo court, once they judged you and said that you was this, you wore that jacket throughout that whole jail. You either checked in to PC or you got hurt very badly. That was your only options. You went to PC. You got put with the chos, with the people that you didn't belong with, or you went to the hoe. That was your only options. Because anywhere you touched down in that jail, you wore the jacket of being a Cho. Simple as that. So this guy would come in and he would be misjudged. His charges was not that. They found that out later. We all did. And but what had already took place and followed him throughout the whole jail. And how we would confirm this is a guard would come in and tell us his real charges. So he was only in jail for a burglary charge. Same as me, same as most of the people in there, you know, just, stealing stuff to get high pretty much. Wasn't really, we wasn't really bad people. We just was trying to feed an addiction, which is a disease. Whether you want to believe it or not, addiction is a disease. And it is a mindset that can be changed over time. But it takes years, people, years, to change that drug mindset. That stealing mindset. It takes years. You gotta understand that. But anyway, they would go on to beat the living shit out of this dude and kick him out of our cell. I mean, they beat him for a good 5 minutes because they thought that he touched a child. Now, I am a firm believer in you touch a child, you should get what you deserve. The judge doesn't give you enough time for your crime that you committed, but when you come in there, you get your justice. Believe me, they get their justice. Trust me on this. So, the guy would get beat the shit out of for 5 minutes, and he would be, how you can tell somebody's got a concussion by the way they walk, stagger out, and then walk. And, I actually had to go over and flag the camera for a dude. And flagging the camera is throwing a shirt or a towel up to the camera, and then they'll eventually say, what? And you'll say, hey, dude's got to go, and he couldn't talk or nothing, so I had to say, hey, dude's got to get out of cell. He's not wanted here. So they would come and get him and lock us all down. It would be a little while later before we found every cell he went to. Kites was through. He was beat up so badly he went to the hole by himself. And at Johnson County, you could get your commissary in the hole. If you was in there for PC or something like that, you could get commissary. If you wasn't in the hole for disciplinary, you could get canteen. Hundreds of dollars a canteen. And this dude was, loaded. He had people on the outside that loved and cared about him and made sure he was fed and groomed or whatever. But he would end up going to isolation because he couldn't come out of there. And so when the guards come around, that guard that told us all what his charges really was, when we all found out, the guys that did it still said they would do it again. Just off of the way the man looked. So be very careful. Because if you look a certain way in jail, you will be handled. And if one can't handle you, you're not fucking Bruce Lee or Billy Badass. The whole cell will handle you. And you're talking 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30 guys. I don't give a shit who you are. You ain't whooping everybody. And I don't care how big you are. You ain't whooping everybody. I saw some of the biggest guys in there get jumped by 15, 20 people. That's just the way it happens. If one can't whoop you, they all will whoop your ass. It's just the way it is. So, if you don't like it, don't go to jail. Don't get arrested. Don't commit stupid-ass crimes. And if you're on drugs, please seek help. please seek some kind of counseling and help. I'm always here. I always will be helping people, trying to help people for the good. And, you know, I'm actually going to college for a peer support counselor and stuff like that right now. So I'm trying to get my certificate in that so I can get paid to be peer support and do what people do, because I'm, you know, I am smarter than your average person that knows things, but it's just a lot of common sense stuff. I mean, I want to be a lawyer is what I want to be. I actually want to help and do some good and put some good out in the world, because we got some scumbag ass lawyers that only want to escalate their fucking career. That's it. They want to be a prosecuting attorney or a law or a judge or something. They're running for higher office to fuck you over. That's it. I just want my year of being a public servant, and then I'll branch off and do my own thing to where I can help one client at a time. First year is going to be the hardest. I know that. They're going to be hard on me. But in the state of Kentucky, you can be a felon and still be a lawyer. So don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something, because you can. And I plan on having stuff. I'm trying to get everything done and get all my stuff expunged, all the stuff erased, so that way I can do things. So I want to help people, and I want to be good at what I'm doing. So I love you guys. Please like and subscribe to my videos. I'm trying to get to 500 to 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized and paid for doing this stuff. Please help me out here. Love you guys. And as always, stay safe out there, guys.